Tony, if we can first look back at the Catalans game, how disappointed were you with the performance?
Yeah, we were way off some of our best, and yeah, we're not just me. It's not how disappointed I was. It's us as a group and as a squad. We know we can play better, and when we don't put out a performance that we're happy with, we're disappointed. But we're also realistic to understand that happens from time to time, and it's how you react to those sort of things that are most important. And we accepted it, and we took it on the chin, and gone away and practiced as best we can. So, I think I'm really proud of the way the players have handled it so far.
If you could turn back time, would you have picked the team any differently?
No, not at all.
I mean, some of the supporters were surprised that both the Bens were missing from the team. I think one was through injury and one possibly being rested.
Yeah. Oh no, we certainly won't go through the season with the same 17 players. I guarantee we won't be there if we try to do that. I think we had two different players from the previous week in the squad, so two changes. We've had many more changes within the game so far this year, and performed better. No, not at all. I believe that the team that we put out was certainly capable of performing better than what it did, and that's more of a concern than what team we put out. They're two good boys, Bennies, the two Bennies, and I'd like them to be in the team every week as well. But sometimes as a coach, you've got to make decisions on whether you miss out on having a player for 1 week or run the risk of missing out on him for 12. And when you're watching them and making assessments and taking assessments of players in training, and when you've got all the information and you know where their fatigue levels are and how much game time they play and how many games, their minutes of action they've been in before, and how their body's reacting to that, well, then you make some decisions. But I suppose if you turn up and watch on the weekend and that's all you see of players, it probably clouds your judgment a little bit if you don't have all the information. But yeah, we take on a whole lot of information and make some decisions based on that, on what's best for the team and individuals as well. So yeah, I'd dare say if we keep playing Benny at the same sort of Benny Westwood, that is, who was available last week. If we kept going at this rate and he plays an international, and if we have a good run in the cups, we probably won't see him at the back end of the year. I'd rather have him at the back end of the year. So a sacrifice here and there won't harm us too much.
Looking back at that game, we had a very heavy penalty count in our favour, but we didn't. We went for the power plays instead of going for goal. Would you have changed anything about that and perhaps taken a conversion and got a point out of the game?
No, we were at no stage going to draw the game. We have taken a penalty shot, and even at the back end of the game, not at all. We probably wouldn't have gone ahead had we have and got into a position where we were actually ahead and we should have won the game. And we ended up blowing that at that stage. But had we have taken 2 points earlier on, we probably wouldn't have been within ball's roar of our opponents, unfortunately. So no, I'm not an advocate for those sort of. And you look at the end of a game and say, "Oh, we lost by 2 points," but it changes the whole phase of games. It's like, what if my auntie was my uncle, and all those sort of arguments. No, we played it, in those terms as best we could, but. What I will say is just we didn't stick to a plan like we have done in recent times. We've been excellent at all 17 players sticking to the same game plan, and unfortunately this week we didn't.
So looking ahead, trip to Huddersfield, former club of yours, top of the table clash, should be an exciting game. Yeah,
I think it will be. Yeah, I think it'd be a real good contest. I think they're a good team, and and I think we are too. So it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. They've got a good pack of forwards and some good half backs and some exciting outside backs, and we think we're pretty good in those areas as well. So yeah, look forward to it.
I mean, I've seen your 19 for the game. It's been released now. No Lee Breers. Is that an injury problem?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's out for this week, so yeah, hopefully only a week. He's got a dead leg he picked up in last week's game. It was touch and go whether he played last week, and in hindsight we probably shouldn't have.
I mean, Michael Monaghan, he didn't appear in the second half at the weekend, but he's in your 19. Are you confident he's going to be fit for the Huddersfield game?
Yeah, pretty sure he'll make it through. Yeah, yeah, he was a concern on the day, and since then he's had to go through his head tests and etc. as they have to when they get a concussion. But yeah, it was unfortunate to lose him in that game, and fairly early in that game in terms of he wasn't quite at his best, and yeah. So we missed him, but even having said that, I think with the calibre of player that we had out there and some of the form that those players have been in, I think we should have done better on the weekend.
Will you be making many changes from the Catalans game?
Yeah, probably a few, yeah. Which was always going to be the case with Benny Westwood coming in, but we thought Benny Harrison would be available to us. Again, after last week, we thought if he had the week off, he'd be fit and healthy to play. So there was pretty much always going to be two changes. But Ryan Atkins and Louis Anderson are both back in the fray as well. So it's there's likely to be two or three different selections again. And like there will be just about every week, we certainly won't be going through Super League with the same 17 players too often.
So the defeat against Catalans, do you think that has possibly been a kick up the pants that the team might have needed, so that they might not get complacent?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was a complacency issue. But that's an issue that we talked about. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's difficult sometimes when players have big matches consecutively to be able to keep raising that up to those levels. I think that's a tough thing to do physically. I don't think it was for the lack of will or drive to do well in that game. I think the Catalans game, if I thought that, well, that's more of an issue. The players just did not, spark and look energetic, and that's whilst it's a concern, I think it's natural, and we've all seen that in quite often after teams go through runs and of high performances where they're unable to get back up to that. We want to negate that. We want to practice that, and we want to be able to get better at sustaining our high performances. But I don't know if it was a kick up the backside and. For complacency reasons, what we do need to do is, make sure that even on those days when we're a bit lacking in energy, and that we need to stick together and play out a plan all at the same time. And had we have done that, I think we would have won even with an underperformance if we had have stuck together. Well,
you know how we like to talk about positives. Well, you were able to take positives out of the defeat.
Oh, always, yeah. There's plenty of positives. The willingness to stick it to the end, and we actually got ourselves back in a position where we were in front with not long to go before, we put up a high kick in the middle of the field that we tapped back, and they, that's where they pinched the lead from us. Really, that's a ball that should have gone into the corner, and we should have just strangled the game out, and so. There were some things that we brought upon ourselves, but at the same time, without playing well, we got ourselves into a winning position. And the other one was we could have even pinched the game even on the last play of the day. And to see that sort of willingness and desire from the players is a really healthy thing to have. And even when it's a bit flat and a bit lethargic, not lethargic, but lacking some spark, to be able to dig your way out and almost get yourself home is a good thing. But yeah, there were some aspects of that game that pleased with. There was a few individuals that probably played close to how they should play, and but there was way too many of them down on that for that day. So we take it on the chin like we do when we win. We don't get over the top with our celebrations, and we won't get too suicidal when we have a defeat. We'll we learn from both and get on with it just like we always do.
Okay, Tony, thanks for your time as always, and good luck at the weekend.
Thanks, mate.